Welcome everyone to today's podcast. And oh my goodness, I've been waiting to have a conversation with this lady for a number of years who I've known in the registered club industry, seen her progression through the industry, but also her passion of connecting community and clubs. Jenny Holt has worked at Club Rivers, which is it's one of those clubs. It looks like the TARDIS. It's small from the outside, and then you get in there and it just expands. She's been in the industry now for more than 25 years and at Club Rivers for more than 10 years. So if you're not around the Sydney area, or if you are, Club Rivers is on the MacArthur line, if you're on the railway line, around that Reesby, that sort of area. Yeah. Her passion is community engagement and making connections with the various charities and stakeholders. So welcome, Jenny. It's so lovely to have you here. So let me ask you the very first question. You've been in this industry for 25 years. So how did you first get started in the clubs, and what originally drew you to this sector? Because I think, a lot of people see it all as that transient job, but like yourself and so many others have really created a career out of it.
And to be honest, Michelle, I think it's more than 25 years because it was back in the day when poker machines still had handles, if you can believe. I don't know what, like, I kind of could work out. My son was 5 and now he's 36. So that's a lot of maths to do. I don't want everyone to do that maths. But it was a promotion company I used to work for. And it was back when the people had to put the coins in the machine. I sound like a historian, I know, but that's how it was. And if they got 3 kings on their machine, they'd put their hand up and we'd give them a little ticket. There was a whole gang of us that used to run around. It was actually at Canterbury Houston Park RSL. And I think the best thing about it, it was a weekly event. You got to know the people. And even without realizing, we were making community connections back then, but just knowing little Joyce that was there playing that machine, and then she liked to have a little chat afterwards. So I think for me, it was just the connecting with the people and building that rapport weekly, and they look forward to us coming. We look forward to seeing them on a weekly basis. And it was basically fun. It was fun. We got paid to talk to people and have fun.
And it's so important, isn't it? It is that connection of feeling like you belong to something. And obviously, through those early days, it's really now looking at that stronger community connection. And you've touched on there, the old poker machines, putting the coins in. And I think
Yeah.
when I was underage, I actually, used one of those machines at another club. I remember pulling down on it, thinking, "What the heck was this?" And it was a bit of fun. So obviously, you've seen a lot of changes over the years, Jenny. But what are some of those significant changes across the club industry that you've seen, particularly with now connecting with communities?
Yeah, well, back in those days, the Club Awards program, it was not community based at all. There
Mm.
was like basically in every aspect of a club, there was the big club, the medium club, the small club. So the big club, uh, bistro winner of the year, the medium club bistro winner, small club bistro winner, and they did that for gaming. They did that for cafe. They did that for every aspect of your club. But now the club awards is all community based. It's all about the clubs, what they do in the community. And of course, it's always really important for all of our clubs to tell our stories, because
Mm.
I truly believe like the community engagement and connection side of the club industry is the yin to the yang of the gaming industry. And
Yes.
sometimes the gaming industry does get a bit of a bad rap, but we hope to like combat that with our community engagement and what we do in the community and what we offer and how we connect with the community. And I think all clubs have just got to get out there and tell their stories, be it through
Mm.
their social media, be it through their magazines. We do this fabulous thing in our venue where we call our team community team.
Right.
Club Rivers CRC, Club Rivers Community Team, and we have CRCTV. where every event that we go to, where our kids come along and our team come along, we always take that pic and we put it up on the screen, and it gives our members there the chance to see if they're not looking at social media, if they're not,
Yes.
if they don't have their finger on it, because we have quite an elder demographic,
Mm.
and they love seeing it. And then they engage. Oh, how did you go there when you went sailing, for example, or you
Mm.
went wherever they went? And it just creates that opportunity to discuss it more and talk about what we do more in the community.
Yes, yeah. And I love that idea. It's, yes, people are connected on social media, but having that what was it? CRCT TV?
Yes, CRCTV.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it's a great idea. And yes, all clubs, I think that's been quite remiss of the clubs, over all these decades that I've been involved, is getting out there and champion what we actually do. And, we've always seen clubs as that centerpiece for a community, particularly when there's disasters, whether it's fire or flood, they come to the club, to have that solace, to connect with people for food or to sleep over, in some of our regional areas. But this is even connecting further than just those disaster moments. It's
Of
all the
course.
time. Yes,
It's
which is
yeah.
absolutely key. The community support has always been part of the club model, as we've said. But today, I feel it's a lot more intentional. It's a lot more strategic. It's not just hit and miss. How has community engagement evolved at Club Rivers over the years?
Well, what I've tried to do, Michelle, is for us through the Club Grants program, like, of course, we get many applications for a broad range of things,
Yeah.
but we try not to just write the checks and be done,
Mm.
write the checks and wait for the acquittal. That's not what we're about. The application will come in, goes through the portal, it'll go to the board for approval. As soon as it gets approval, I get a scope of what the program is. I'm on the phone or I'm emailing. Just
Mm.
for example, a local the program is called Delta Dogs. They take dogs into nursing homes. So
Right.
and it like gives the nursing home recipients, participants, a bit of mental health relief. It's fine to
Mm.
have the little dog there. Everyone smiles. It's a happy feely thing. So I'm emailing them saying, "Oh, when are the dogs going? We'd like to come along. We want to see the
Mm.
progress. We want to see the impact that this program is having on the recipients or the residents of that nursing home." Just for
Yes.
example, and I do that with every single one. I
Mm.
don't want the acquittal. I want to, if I get a chance to take our team along as well, I always do that.
Yes.
And it's my catchphrase that I use is to get my foot in the door. Uh, for us to come along and see the program, it will help with future funding.
Yes. Mm.
And they go,
Yes.
"Oh, okay, Lala, So that
Yes.
just helps us. And then that builds the rapport.
Mm. It
And then
does.
next year, when they're putting in the application, the board already know because they've seen that I go take the photos, I put that in my board report, I give them a little blurb of what it was like, what it felt
Yes.
like, what it looked like.
Mm.
And then the next year, it's basically just a tick. But
Mm.
building the connections, it's not just about writing checks. You've got
Yes.
to take it that one step further.
Look, definitely. And I think it's also for the recipients to realize it's more than just writing that check. And I know for, some people that I've spoken to in the industry, prior to COVID, it was just that expectation. Oh, well, the club is just going to give us money.
Yeah.
Now, the club are happy to give that money,
Yes, yeah.
but it's lovely when it's reciprocal when if they have their team event or they have their NDView awards program that they come to the club or that they have the information about what the club does or the banner or something to connect and to promote and say, look, they've got a great family bistro, they've got kids eat free on a Monday to Thursday night, like they're not looking for that reciprocity, but it is nice to have
Yes.
because then it exposes the club, but it also allows the club to show what they're offering, to allow those people that perhaps wouldn't be, go into a club. My goodness, this is, this is an
Yeah.
area for our children. It's an area for our parents, for our grandparents,
Yeah.
and the more people that come in, it opens them up to additional funding as well.
Yeah.
And as you said, it's that it is two-way, and reciprocity is so very important. So, as we were talking about, Jenny, it is that connection where that reciprocity is something important because then, as you said, it's not just writing a check. They get that opportunity to meet you, to hear about what the club can do. But I feel also, Jenny, do you get that point where when you're in there, you can say to them, actually, there's something else that we could perhaps
Of
do
course.
with you and promote you, by coming in and doing something in the club, or perhaps there's something else, a special event that some of our team could come out and help. Do you find that that also gives you that opportunity to learn more about what they do?
Yeah, and exactly.
Mm,
And often there's other little side kicks that can happen
mm.
from connecting with them. But one thing that I found very interesting, I love connecting our stakeholders with our other stakeholders. And
Yes.
with us being the anchor there,
Mm.
uh, for example, we're helping someone sell raffle tickets somewhere, like a big charity that we support is Autism Community Network, ACN,
Hmm.
and St. George Rugby League let them go to a home game and they walk around and sell tickets. And we had about five of our team going along to help.
Perfect.
Unfortunately, three of them got rostered on or something happened because our staff volunteer out of hours and somebody at work was sick. And anyway, we were three people down. So I connected with one of our other charity groups, which is Lugano Lions, and Lions always come to the party. And they sent three people along to
Yes.
help, and to me, that's just the epitome of, the communities connecting.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
lovely.
That's such a beautiful example, Jenny. And as you said, it's you as that connector. And if you didn't have that time to learn about them,
Yeah.
that organize, and then you wouldn't have been able to do that. And
Yeah.
it is this full circle moment. It's beautiful. Now,
I love the
yes,
full circle moments.
it is. It
But
is. Because I
um,
even know that through the podcast, sometimes I'll have a guest on and I'll think, oh my gosh, I need to connect you with so and so,
yeah,
and that
awesome.
happened a few times with some charity people that I've had on, which I've loved having conversations with, particularly like learning links, etc. And then with them, they've been able to connect with others. And it's that it's making the pie big enough, or the pie is big enough for everybody. You've just got to
Yeah,
get the connectors in there as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
You mentioned very early in this conversation about club grants. And if people aren't aware of that, our registered club industry here in New South Wales and in other states, but we'll talk about New South Wales because that's our home, is they are required by legislation to support volunteer groups, associations with a certain amount of money. But as we know, our all clubs go well and above the club grants. So those programs certainly do have an enormous impact locally because, as you said, it's a lot of local organisations. But how do you decide when to allocate or where to allocate that funding? And how do you ensure it aligns with your club's values and the community needs, Jenny? Because I think that's really key.
Well, the our board kind of have focused on what they believe to be the main pillars in our community. And of course, we've said the word in this podcast many, many times, and I'm sure we will. And their first one is local. Local is very important to us. Then, of course, they've done some research of the needs that are in our community, and they've discovered that it's local. It's the not the next one, but one of the ones is also the youth of our community, disability charities and organisations, and unfortunately, the whole DV topic has become very prominent, and we support quite a few different organisations. One being Georges River Lifecare, but I'll talk to you about that a little bit later on when we do our volunteering piece. But something that's really come to light for us I'd say the last 3 years, are schools.
Mm.
It's like we are supporting our local schools financially. They,
Wow.
yeah, they can't afford to send children to swimming lessons. They can't
Goodness.
afford to send children to school camp. And we believe, those two things, every child in the state should have a right to swimming lessons and
Yes.
school camp, whether their parents can afford it or not.
Mm.
So, and I'm not just talking one school, I'm talking like, okay, some of our areas or schools around are a little bit lower on the socio-economic scale, but they have the right to go to school camp and to
Yes.
swimming lessons.
Mm.
And so we're more than happy to help where we can, but it's just coming at us left, right, and centre that schools are not. And when you look into it a bit more, I believe that funding has been cut a bit. And of course, when you drill in a little bit more, it's about how many students to how many teachers to how much funding they get, and it's clearly not enough.
No, clearly not enough. And I think, I'm sure, Jenny, when you went to school, I know it certainly was me.
Yeah,
Every child had 10 days a year to learn to swim. It was free. We are an island, Australia. Every child should learn to swim, and because the drowning rates is horrific, and we need to be able to do that. Plus,
yeah,
it gives them an opportunity to be part of that team. So it's sad to hear that you're
yeah,
having to support
very
schools,
sad.
but it's also wonderful to hear that you're aware of it and you're able to help, because yeah, that makes a difference, doesn't it?
Yes, and it's a very frustrating thing is that the state school has to pay the state government pool entry.
And when you think about it, a lot of those pools were raised
Yeah,
by the men and women that came back from the war. You'll see a lot of those pools. The money was raised, the memorial pools, for years ago. And of course, there's the upkeep. And I think the trouble is, we look at rates, and the rates that we pay at council just don't cover it. We're getting more and more people, into our areas, and particularly where Club Rivers is. It's a high density area. It's no longer just the single family home. It's
no,
multiple stories of units with multiple families within those, and look, obviously, and it's not judging any government. It cannot be easy to balance the coffers, so to speak. But when it comes down to something like a school camp or for swimming lessons or entry into the pool, you would think that they'd be able to find the money. But we'll get off our political
high horse, yeah.
for the moment. But it is glad to see that the clubs then do come in and help them with that. So do you see that alignment when you talk about that's the alignment with your values at Club Rivers?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, local, and they're all part of our community.
Yes,
We do have a lot of schools in our just surrounding
you
us,
do.
and I've really prided myself on connecting with all of them on every level. And look, let me tell you, it's a little tough sometimes, and it doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
The ladies at that school office are quite tough, tough nuts to crack. But once you crack and you're in, we offer like local awards to the local schools. We invite them to our Remembrance Day and Anzac Day services. We try to connect with them as much as possible, which then extends that hopefully one day they'll come and have a meal and they'll bring their
Yes.
family.
Mm.
And we're like here for them. We want
Yes.
we want to be the hub. We want to be the heart. That's what it's.
Mm.
I think every club strives to be the heart of their community.
Yes, yes, yeah. And as you said, they may be hard nuts to crack because they don't understand what a club does. They may have an idea or a point of view about it, but it's not until you chip away and then they go, oh, okay. So by you allowing to share the story about Club Rivers, they're able to then to benefit from that. Well,
Yeah.
and the children are able to benefit, which is fantastic. You've mentioned before that your staff have really embraced the volunteering aspect. So they're volunteering out of their own time. How does involving your team in the community initiatives influence the workplace culture and engagement? How do you see an impact on that, Jenny?
It's a wonderful impact, Michelle. It enhances the whole volunteering experience. It lifts morale. So we have. So I'm very fortunate. I'm not a solo team member anymore. I've got our community engagement sector of our club is now a team.
Wow, that's
I
fantastic.
know, and
Gosh.
this is not enough to go around. So I've got this wonderful co-worker, and she's younger, and she was a frontline staff member, but she's managed to be able to engage with our staff much better than I can because she's on their level, okay?
Yes, yes.
And she works with them on the front line. So, while they're carrying plates, they can talk about the next event that's
Mm.
coming up. And she's very good at recruiting and getting everyone on board. But so we do like two types of volunteering. One is we for example, we support a wonderful group called Sailability, and they give children with disabilities the opportunity to go sailing. And some of them are quite severely, impaired, and they have to be craned into the boats and things like that. And another wonderful thing about that is that some of the charities that we support that have children with disabilities go to Sailability. So when we attend those days, we know the people there. We know we're supporting the sailing people. It's wonderful. And what's also wonderful is sailing is so much fun and
Yes.
glorious. You get a beautiful day. We're there, the sun's shining, we're on the water. Like, what better event would you want to
Yes.
go to? And they love going sailing and helping out. And we just help out. And Sailability is run by a very elderly committee of men who they've got to lift the boats in and out of the water.
Yeah,
So
it's
we
a
get
lot.
our young guys down there, help them get the boats in and out, and just engage with the people there. We get to go for a sail. They teach the kids how to sail. So that's part of our like people that we donate to and we support. But then the
Yes.
other thing, we try to do lots of team building things. We did a big tough mudder where
Yeah.
um, I was the photographer on the day.
I
So,
think I'll be the photographer too. Even just the what thinking about the words of it makes me
oh,
skin
it
crawl.
was very grueling, and I ended up I was sitting there in my chair taking photos and that, and then they did this announcement where they needed some help. So I'm like, oh, I'll go volunteer. So I was in the bag drop off unit, And anyway, that was fun. But them doing that, and we did it to raise funds for Waterfall RFS, we have Menai RFS, which is our closest one.
Mm.
But Waterfall RFS Rural Fire Service is a little bit further out, and they don't have a very big community, and they're always looking for extra help and extra funds. So some of the RFS guys joined us, and they did this grueling 3-hour uphills through mud over the things, and when they came back the next year, everybody wanted to do it.
Oh, wow.
It just really helps build morale, and it helps it just builds enthusiasm.
Yes.
But Michelle, our staff, we volunteer like it's in their own time. It's not paid,
Yes.
and we're over 1,000 hours a year and
Gosh.
over 50 events a year.
Oh,
And like when I say an event, like it does include the team building ones because
yes.
we also volunteer to go to that, and it just enhances it. It just and our members love hearing about it because, of
Mm.
course, we put it up on CRTV. It's just wonderful.
Yes, yeah. I just love how, once again, looking at Waterfall, the fire rescue there, because it may have a very small population, there's few residents, but it's one of the highest fire rating areas
Correct.
that we have,
Yes.
it's horrific, that's still quite close to the city. But you're right, I've seen it, like 32 years I've been with clubs, and over the years, we'd always talk about community, but you said right at the start, oh, the awards were for the biggest club, the best meal, the best this, the best that, and so there's chipping away at the community, and now it just resonates so deeply with Gen Z. I mean, it resonates across all generations, but it's that Gen Z and it's that group connection. I love how you've got a younger person,
Yeah.
so to speak, who is speaking a language and is being that champion
Yes.
for the community within the club. Do you feel that it also, not, obviously when they come back to work, they're talking about it, which is fantastic, but have you seen it? And it may be a little bit hard to measure unless you ask them directly, but do you think people stay longer at the club? Like stay, they go, no, I don't want to leave Club Rivers because I really love what they do with the community. But also, do you find that when people actually apply for a job, that they've heard about the community work, whether it's been directly or through your Facebook or your website, or perhaps they've come in to look at the club and the team have talked about it. Is there any, outward signs or measuring that you've seen that, or patterns?
Well, to be honest, no.
Mm,
Unless the person that's coming for the job is quite smart and has looked us up,
yes.
I haven't actually heard back about.
Mm,
Back to the first question, does it make them want to stay longer? I would say again, no, but because we have a lot of, like, we get them when they're 18, 19, 20. Uh, I say they just use and abuse us. They're just, get money so they can go to Europe next year. And we just hope that they get on board with our program. But what
yes.
often happens, Michelle, that's very interesting. Once they've done the uni, they've been here 3 or 4 or 5 years, they've done their uni, they go off to their chosen vocation and it doesn't quite work out. And they're back and they're
Right.
different.
Yes. Yeah.
That's when they're all in then.
Yes.
They want to embrace the whole aspect of what we do and what we offer. And
Mm,
they become champions then because they've been out, they've
yes.
seen what it's like, and they come back and they know how good it is.
Yes.
That's where we see the big, big difference.
Mm. I'm wondering also with them, even though they may leave Club Rivers, but the connection that they've had with the community, the values that drive the culture there at Club Rivers, that they take that with them to the next organization and champion it there and say, where I used to work, this is what I do, and this is what they did. And then, so we can almost see that in two ways. Yes, they may leave, but do they take it? And that's where it's important because it spreads. It's that real ripple effect, isn't it?
Yeah.
So for everything that you do that is good, then that can, double and double and double again as the
Yes.
conversation goes out there. Mm.
Another way, Michelle, to really enhance the connection within the club is we do lots of events, volunteering, and we invite our members to join us.
Yes.
They love it because they're
Yes.
part of
Yeah.
the story then. And
Mm.
then they're seeing their photos up there on Community Team
Mm.
CTV. And then they're asking me, when are we doing that again? Because they want to bring other people along. So to
Yeah.
get our members volunteering out of their own time alongside our own staff
Mm.
in fun, engaging events that are making a difference in the community, it's
Yes.
just, for me, it's just a tick, tick, tick.
Yeah. And I think what's lovely about that, Jenny, is because a lot of people would like to volunteer, but they hesitate because they said, well, I don't know anybody. Who do I reach out to? What's the commitment? But when you're already setting the scene for them, to me, I just think that just sounds wonderful because even I would think, oh, well, that's good. I know I'm going to be with a group of people that I know that I've had a coffee with on a Monday, or I know that staff person because they always say a cheery hello. And I know I looked at social media just off topic, but yesterday or the other day you were celebrating the number of team members who've had a 25-year service. And for
Yeah,
many of them, I know, including
yeah,
Johnny there at the front door, who
yeah.
everybody would know if they've been to Club Rivers, and many of the others. It is that long-term commitment, and members are used to them. So when you say that members are volunteering, I see that as that another side road of they've committed to the team at the club as well, and they're going out there together. That's which is wonderful. Would you like just to share? I know you said right back at the start you going to talk a little bit about that later. Was that some of the DV, domestic violence,
Yeah,
family? Yes. Would you
yeah.
just like to
So,
share a little bit of that before we finish up? Mm.
yeah, well, so it's back to our team events
Mm.
that we do, and it's also connected to club grants, but we support Georges River Lifecare
Mm.
quite a few different ways, and they do a annual sleep out. So
Right.
we have a dinner here at the club, and then the members of their community, and they attract corporates, and they get schools involved, and some politicians, of course. And last year in our car park, we had over 100 people sleeping rough,
Wow.
just on the concrete with the sleeping bag. And because of Caitlin, my new co-worker, we had the biggest cohort of our staff, like more than 20 of our staff
Wow.
sleeping rough. And this event's been going on for 14 years.
Yes.
And we're just we're not the backbone of Georges River Lifecare, but we're one of their biggest supporters. And for our staff to experience what it may be like to be homeless and to sleep rough and to of course, there's a bit of a fundraising element to it. We don't expect them to raise a lot, but a little bit of a donation towards the charity itself. And it's just unbelievable team building. You can't, even if they sit up all night playing or whatever it may be. And then we have another one that we've started yearly now as well. And with our connection with the Autism Community Network, where we're climbing Mount Kosciuszko.
Right.
Last year was our first year, and Michelle, let me tell you, we had about 13 of them that went and did it. It was tough.
Yes, I've heard about that.
I know, and I know Vanessa from Autism Community Network, and I was there, and they came back, and I had all food, and I was clapping and cheering them, and they were like broken. I was like, what's happened?
Yeah.
Why would Vanessa put you through all this? I don't understand. And then later that night, Vanessa from ACN, she did a post and she said, yeah, we got to the top. It was challenging. My legs are sore. My everything aches. But the challenge that we went through today was nothing compared to the challenge that people with parents with children with autism go through every day.
Yeah.
And I read it to the team and they were like, ding, So we're back doing it again. It's happening in April this year. We're starting doing a 24-hour challenge on the treadmill in front of the club, all for 24 hours to get the fitness ready for Kosciuszko. So it's those events. It builds the team. Yes. And it's also helping those people that we already support.
Yeah, which is it's so important. Jenny, you've been doing this for quite a while, and a number of clubs are already doing a lot of community work, but I know there's still a lot out there that are thinking, and any of my listeners, in any field of industry or corporation, how would, what tips could you give them about, how do they start?
Yeah, it is tough. It is. You've got to just chip away at it. And then I would just go back to your club grants recipients. Start with those people because those people are relying on you already.
Yes.
Make the connections there. Make sure you tell your stories.
Yes.
And it's over as many different avenues as you can. And just start local. Start local and build out from there. Connecting other charities with other, like most of the things that we've already spoke about, Michelle, I think. And it's just exposure, really. Getting yourself out there, getting some banners done, if you're sponsoring the soccer team, get your banners down there. Get the team down there. Like it's not just about having your name on the jersey. Get a tent, take it down to soccer one day, get some of your team to go along, have your magazines there, talk about what the club has to offer, come back and have a meal. We've got a great player. It's just about getting your word out there.
Yeah, definitely. And getting the team together, I think, is wonderful, and having those champions. I really appreciate our conversation today. It's been wonderful to for those that are watching on Megaphone or YouTube, you can just see Jenny's eyes are just lighting up, because she loves what she does, and it's the people that she meets. But I'm sure I'd be right in saying this, Jenny. It's also seeing your team with those big smiles, whether they've just walked up Kosciuszko or down Kosciuszko, or whether they're, given blood or handed out the jerseys or whatever it might be out there in the community, but also back in the workplace when they talk about it and they've got those smiles on the face and they say, can't wait to do it again next year.
Yes, that's exactly it. And Michelle, look, I feel very lucky. People said to me today, "Oh, are you nervous about your podcast?" And I'm like, "No, not really, because I'm just talking about what I do, and I love what I do, so it's easy to talk about." And Caitlin's been on board in our team now for a year, and I must say to her, I don't want to exaggerate, I must say to her twice a month, we have the best job in the world. And we actually do, because every day is different. One day we're going here, the next day we're meeting these people, the next day we're doing this, and the next day we're going for a walk. It's the variety and the scope that a community engagement role within a club gives you
Yes.
is amazing, and it makes it a wonderful job, and I clearly love it.
Yes, yeah. And, we must, take a moment to thank the board of Club Rivers and the executive leadership team in supporting the community and, getting behind a role such as yours and then bringing on Caitlin to develop it even further. And that's what I think is truly the backbone of the registered club industry, is that connection, that deep connection to community, to help those that may come into our venue or may not. It's about helping the community. Thank you so much, Jenny, for your time today. I will put the links in the show notes about how they can, come in, because everybody, on a side note, go to Club Rivers on a Wednesday morning. They had the most amazing cakes in that coffee shop. And I got the heads up from the cafe supervisor. That is the day to go. There's lots of other beautiful food there too, but Wednesday is definitely the day to get a nice tasty treat at the coffee shop. Thanks, Jenny. Take care.
Thanks, Michelle. Bye.
Bye.